All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We are here with our next matchup, and from here on out, they're going to be pretty dang solid matches. We have got the two currently, well, one of the sets of two of currently undefeated teams. We are bringing you Animal House versus Ember. Sleepy. I mean, you know, come on. What can I even say? And we're playing on map Bizarre. That is where we are. So tell me, Sleepy, right now, or I'll pour it on the floor and I'll blame it on you. What are your thoughts about these two teams, and how do you think Bizarre is going to shake out?
I think it's going to be a slugfest is what I think. Ember has been doing really well this season, as I'm sure you know, being a part of the Inferno family. You know, of you and yourself and many other teams now with the other games that have come into the VR Master League. But anyways, but Animal House has been no slouch either. I mean, we saw some impressive stuff from them early on. They're full of people that we know play the game and know the game. So it's really hard to tell. I'd say I probably put my money on Ember, but I really would not be surprised if Animal House comes out with the win.
Yeah, I honestly, it's too close to call for me as well. I mean, both teams obviously playing well today. Both teams play well historically. And this is a matchup that, you know, again, I know from experience, Ember has struggled with. Animal House is definitely one of the teams. Hell, my team Blaze, when we were in the running, you know, Animal House is one of our biggest rivals. They're a challenging team.
They're a wild card.
Yeah, they're a very challenging team, and they've got a great roster.
Yeah, and it's so tough to sometimes watch them. I don't want to call it struggle, but kind of settle in the upper portion of the middle of the bracket, right? Like throughout the season in the ladder, like they just kind of settle there towards the top of the middle.
I think they've had some roster difficulties. I think that's what it's been. It's just been, you know, life things happening, and that's just conjecture. I don't know. You know, I'm not an animal. Yeah. Lipinski, one of our resident casters, could shine more light on that maybe in the later stages when we get him onto the desk for casting. But yeah, I mean, it is a team that I feel like has always had that potential. I mean, hell, they've been in this place before. They have taken the Challenger Cup. I remember just a couple of seasons ago, they had a great match against Boss Fight for that semifinal spot, and it was this close. I mean, that's what I mean by they're a wild card. They beat these sometimes really impressive teams. I think it was them that beat Globochem that dropped everyone's jaws or something. Was it not? Yeah, they have absolutely dominated in a lot of games, and so it's always interesting to see the way that they approach these maps and objectives. They do, like you said, have a bit of an issue with consistency. But again, if I'm gonna say that about Animal House, I have to say it about Ember. Ember is absolutely. They've been doing a great job, but their main problem in the past has been consistency. It has been approaching objectives in a similar way. It has been adjusting for a team's play style, and it's something that, you know, I think is gonna make for a very wild matchup here. And as I say that, round one gets underway, so we are into the action. Right now, Animal House will be on the attack. It looks like, I want to say Ember chose Volk as their choice instead of a map, so this should be Animal House's map pick. Ember should have been home for this, so if they're on the right-hand side of your screen, yeah, that would have been a Volk choice. So instead of picking the map, they've opted to pick the side. We'll see how that plays out.
A few teams I saw did that yesterday as well. Questicles were one of them, where we were comfortable with any of the remaining maps left, so we were like, okay, we'll just choose Volk and let the other team decide the map, and we'll just let the dice roll. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. It's not a bad call, especially if you are comfortable on a set of maps. There's no reason why you wouldn't want to take what I'll call the perceived Volk advantage. It's not always prevalent. A lot of these maps have changed. A lot of the ways that you approach objectives have changed. So not sure on all maps Volk has an advantage in the same way they used to, but it's definitely something the teams are still, something they worry about, something that they think about when choosing.
What I'm a little thrown off here that I'm seeing from Animal House is just a bit of a slower play than what I thought we would see. Sophie there grab a pick there from Wicked as he tries to push out.
think it's just this objective, really, because this one you have to get everybody into position, and there's a longer route usually to get around to the north than there is to the south. So I think they may have just been setting up, but yeah, even the most aggressive teams I've seen take this particular objective slowly. There it is, a trade between Willow and Kuoka, and Hailfire and Lipinski evening things out yet again. Hailfire getting that nice long shot, but not ready for Willow's position on the stairs. And that is a huge pickup for Animal House, because now Green and Wicked here in the south, they can cross a lot easier.
Yeah, pretty much free to cross so long as Soju stays out of that window where he picked them off earlier, where he picked Wicked out from earlier.
Now the pressure is going to be coming in. It's just the 2 left for Ember. Milkman spotting out Willow. He does find the shot onto him. Nolo now having to rotate out in the north as Soju puts pressure on there.
Wicked's on the push to the objective, though. He's on point, but Milkman there watching the corner ready for the push in. He must have heard him coming. He was in a full sprint.
Ooh, Green just barely missing the shot onto Milkman. I don't think Milk saw him as he was crouched low behind those stalls. Very difficult to see anybody by the stalls. If he stays tucked in here, I think he's going to have a good opportunity to win this. Soju trading out with Nolamite is just going to leave the 1v1. Milkman, is he going to rotate for the pick? He's putting the pressure in. Green Theft doesn't spot him in time, and now he's rotating for the res here. If Green sees the angle, did he see him cross? I don't think he saw him cross, but he could go. He could go for cap right now. Oh, he's just on the other side of this wood. This is just...
my goodness.
This is...
He better go for a knife then at this point, because the second he shoots, he's not going to have time to cap with the res that just happened. Of course, he's not going to know that a res just happened. But here we go. The first shots come in. Green Theft managed to pick up Milkman, but he's not going to go for the cap. He knows the secondary person is there. He's calling out to a team that is not there. However, he's unaware of his team being downed at some point. Soju now rushing around. Green going to find shots, but not able to get the connection. They trade out, and Animal House gets credited with the win.
Wow.
They take the lead 1-0 on Bazaar, man.
That was an intense heads-up play by Green. That was such an intense series. It was so tense. Basically, from the time Green had hit that mini market, the tension was palpable. In fact, after he killed Milkman and ran in, I'm hoping folks heard it on stream. I mean, he was breathing hard. Like he was feeling the stress of that situation in a very big way. Let me see if we caught that on replay, or at least a portion of that final kill. Yeah, here it is, the rush from Soju towards the objective. Again, not accurate kill counts, right? There was a lot of trades, so Soju really had to force himself to push into that objective area, make sure nobody was capping, and it was just Green he had to deal with, and it came down to that final trade. But I mean, wow, what a back and forth there, am I right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was holding my eye there because, again, the slugfest, they're just exchanging blows that whole way through that round. One would get a pick, the other would answer, one would find 2. They'd even it back out again. I mean, all the way down, just like you said, till those last few moments with Green. Things really even here, and that's, I mean, as we would expect, right? Like we were both kind of anticipating exactly this from this matchup, and so far, that's what we're getting. Now, we'll see how Ember is able to handle the attack, but it does look like one of the members of Animal House is having a little bit of difficulty, so we've had a drop momentarily. So we'll hope that that person comes back in soon. For those of you who are just joining us, however, we do appreciate, of course, all of you out there checking us out here on the stream. We've seen quite a few new followers on the stream today, so we appreciate all of you out there, as well as those of you who might be throwing some biddies or any new subscriptions to the channel. Always appreciate you guys coming through. And then, of course, our sponsors as well, HyperX, Asterion, VRWare. Well, that's not necessarily for Onward, but it is for other VRML leagues. Rebuff Reality, Arma, B Haptics, Cyber Shoes. The list is just getting too long.
Yeah,
that's the problem. It's not that I don't love any one of you enough. ProTube VR cover. Let me make sure I get those in there too. Asterion. It's just that list is just ever so growing, which is great. I'm glad to see that the league is growing, and we're so glad that you're all here to share that with us. But it does look like Steven from Animal House is back in the lobby, so hopefully there won't be too much more trial and tribulation as we get into round 2 here on the map. We'll see if Ember has an answer for Animal House's attack on Titan.
Yeah, that time they took, again, I think that was all just set up, right? When Nolamite got that pick in the north, when that comm came in, they rushed. I mean, they were on it. They were quick. As soon as they started getting those picks, the pressure started coming in. And I think that is the design of that play, right? Every defense
uncharacteristic to them for them.
Yeah, you know, I think if you're talking about caution, you know, then Animal House is definitely not a team that I've seen haphazardly throwing caution to the wind. But they do have some aggressive plays. They have some very, ramped up versions of plays. But I think in this particular case on this objective, you have to force the defense to start rotating, right? When you've got 5 up on the defense, everybody's entrenched, everybody has coverage. Once you get it down to 3-2 players, that is when the defense starts really moving around and you can capitalize on that pressure. So let's take a look at what round 2 will be bringing us. It's Animal House is in the defensive spawn here, having a good time. It's one of the things you absolutely know about Animal House is they will have a good time while playing. And now we'll see how that good time translates to defensive success as Ember takes on the attack.
Yep, and a pretty even approach out, pretty even break out for the offense. A nice kind of semicircle expansion, a fanned out approach, if you will. They're cutting the map off almost in half offensively right out of the gate. If you look, they're spread kind of perfect, almost perfectly diagonal with the one exception in the back. But they're not wasting any time getting as much ground as they can before they have to go all sneaky snake ghost recon on them. But yeah, so good to see they're not wasting any time there. You can see Soju, Quokka, some of the others pushing up quite well. All in fact in a pre-staged attack position here on the objective, if you will.
Yeah, it's again, this is one of those, let the defense make the mistakes first. We've got a good bit of time early game. Let's try to, get set up into positions, try and catch them rotating. But like I'd mentioned, once they're set up, if you got 5 up, there's not a lot of reason for people to get rotatey. So you got to apply a little bit of pressure. You got to force a mistake, then try to capitalize on it. And we'll see if that happens here.
One is inside this courtyard and one of the upstairs. One of the stairs.
Switch applying the pressure here on the west side of the courtyard. Him and Hailfire will be the ones having to deal with Steven and Green in this path. But Nolamite on that north wall pressure manages to knock Hailfire out early, and that is going to give Animal House the advantage early on in this round. Now Quokka on the pressure here.
Might be 10 to 20 minutes.
With Green Theft.
Switch and Steven just a few meters apart. Look angle. Steven definitely hearing this. Steven, the radio call. Switch finds a pick though. And there's a radio call from Switch. Will Steven act with aggression or will he hold out with patience? He's going to push up a little bit. He's looking. The trade comes out. They both are down. Switch able to be revived though.
Did you trade?
Olamite, though, is in a good position to get in on the backside of this offense, but Soju IDs it, finds the shot, and that is going to be 3 out as the call-out comes in from Soju. And now there are just 2 left, 1 left as Milkman scoops up the one on the objective, and now it is the final member, Lipinski, on the objective. 4v1, the pressure coming in, and Milkman with the quick snap, finding the kill, and the round win there for Ember on this second round.
I react so poorly, but that, it was a very clean round. So congrats to Ember on that. That's not. I don't mean to detract from that. I react so poorly because they had a prime opportunity to go for that cap. They could have kept Lipinski busy for quite a while if they were really careful and been able to squeak that in there. But you know what? A secured cap or a secured round is a secured point, and that's that brings them back even and back on an even playing field with Animal House, who was able to secure that first round. So better to get the 1 point than to get no points at all going for 2. So, congrats to them on the round. Well played from them. I mean, they just systematically pulled Animal House to pieces there, with the exception of the 1 kill. They lost no members of their team in that round. So good job there to them. Animal House, though, they definitely have their work cut out for them, when you say.
I think that's an understatement. That is the understatement of the century. They have got more than their fair share of work cut out for them here. I think there is... I don't know. I think this is going to be what this map is going to be like. You know, I think this is how they're going to be going back and forth with each other. But we don't have to wait too long to find out. All right, let's head into gameplay here.
Yep, we're going to have the South Humvee objective, the Crossroads, as I personally call it, because it's one of the few crossroad areas where they all meet, pretty much.
All right. That short intermission. I think I've been able to figure out what the issue with replays is, so hopefully those replays will be playing properly from here on out. My apologies for playing a replay always older than the one I want. Hopefully the next one we will
Always
catch.
Always old. Always old.
Hey, listen, it's technically a replay.
That's what you want.
Pressure from Green Theft coming out towards the middle. I mean, he's just really raining fire down. Trying to keep that defense from getting a little too peaky, from getting an angle onto this north side. And the reasoning for that, it seems to me, if you look at the overhead map, they had to sweep from left to right across the north. So they didn't want the defense looking across into those hallways and spotting where that offense is coming from. A nice little distracting play.
Pushes out on the east to Steven, Wicked, and Lipinski. Push across with little to no resistance. In fact, Hailfire does pick up Lipinski on the tail section. Hailfire does grab Wicked X as he turns to try and support Lipinski. Not exactly what was intended. Now Lipinski gonna go ahead and throw a frag out
there it
in that
is.
direction, and a well-placed one at that as he grabs Hailfire, downs him, and now he's looking towards the objective. I think Poke grab that big switch, almost gonna walk himself into that line of fire as well.
There's the confirmed shots. Steven now approaching here in the southeast, starting to try to clear the south side and make their approach on the backside of the objective. One of the sort of main ways that we see teams attacking this objective is trying to get in behind the defense and then forcing a sort of 360-degree view to keep the defense constantly moving. See if that replay plays properly. We should be seeing the grenade from Lipinski to down Hailfire, and there it is. Working as intended. A nice little toss there. IDing that position, getting the grenade right on target, knocking Hailfire out. That is a very deadly spot Hail was in.
Yeah, it sure is. Green Theft, once solo on his own in the west, now rotated and is in the center part of this push. I'm assuming once these other guys in the south get into a better positioning, he's going to start unloading with some suppressive fire, and he's not going to wait. He's going to do a little bit of checking. Soju thinking about poking out, and Green just blows his doorway up with a few rounds just to keep him safe. Poka, opposite side, southeast, going to grab Steve. He's got one more there. Lipinski going to go ahead and deal with him. He's got two there.
That was a nice refrag there. That was a 4v3. Green Theft is still just in that middle, there to apply the pressure on the defense and stop them from being from trading positions back and forth. Meanwhile, Lipinski finds a nice long shot down the hallway here and down the switch, but the revive comes in from Milkman. Gives Ember that position, and Lipinski not prepared for somebody to have revived him so quickly. Now Green looking for this refrag attempt. As soon as Switch peeks this, it's a good chance he's gonna catch a bullet for his troubles. The grenade comes out, and there it is. Green Theft with the response. Has to duck away from that grenade. And now Soju and Milkman both trying to deal with Green, but Nolamite here on the objective side could just sneak up underneath both of them and punch that code. I think that's what he's looking for.
Nolamite's a sneaky dude, man. I've seen him do stuff like this, and here comes that tablet. He's gone prone. It's going to be hard for Soju to spot this.
Yeah, Soju's not spotting it. He is going to get this cap in.
That's it.
That is 2 points to Animal House right there on that sneaky play. A lot of that, again, it's a lot of distractionary play there from Animal House. That was all keeping the attention focused on a particular part of that objective. Animal House doing a great job of holding the attention, and Nolamite punching that code in. Let's see if we can take a look at it. No, of course, this part is still Hailfire's grenade. But the listen, it's been a long day, so
it's experimental technology, folks.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean a great sneak and a great cap there by Nolamite to give them that 2-point lead, and now Ember on the back foot. This is their undefeated title so far in the series on the line. Yeah, do you think they got what it takes, Sleepy? I mean, I'm not at liberty to answer questions like this, so...
The worst part about this is the cap brought them here.
Yes.
Right? It's not like the cap happened in round 1, and then they managed to win a defensive round, and then these guys just managed to secure another round, right? Like, no, like the cap just happened. And as a viewer, and if you're not a player particularly, you might not understand what that means, but those caps are really demoralizing, or can be. And it obviously depends on how you deal with that. So how Ember deals with that, and you know how well their attack strategies are for this particular objective, will determine what happens. But it do or die. It's all on the line, as Noman said. They are on the hook for this one, and we're about to find out what's going to happen. I thought maybe.
Yeah.
Psych. Gotcha, chat.
Keeping us on our toes is what they're doing.
I'm on my butt, Noman. Should I be on my toes?
Honestly, you can be wherever you want to be, Sleepy. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but I am going to tell the folks at home that this round is underway, because we're in round 4 now. Animal House very excited about that cap, of course.
Should be. Ember looking to get across the road early in the east. Switch and Quokka across at the same time. Soju trying to take a peek from up top, but Wicked going to be ready in the southeast with the peek. Switch able to find the refrag very quickly, though. Him and Hailfire will continue their push.
This is a quick sweep across to the east side. They didn't have to take that same amount of time Animal House did, because they didn't start on the western side. So they've got the advantage of speed right out the gate. And now the pressure is going to be applied here to Green Theft and Nolamite's position much, much earlier into the round. And there's Switch finding another.
I was going to say, but I was just about to compliment Animal House for their good defensive rotation here after realizing how much of the offense it's dedicated to the east. And then, of course, Nolamite gets picked. You guys really got to stop reading my mind, teams. Anyways, but yeah, great defensive rotation, but still not enough switches on fire right now. Green Theft Auto will be the next link in the chain to stop this from happening. Just switch, but he's not able to make a connection.
Ooh, he makes the wrong call out.
Down. Yeah, I heard it too. And that call kills him.
That is what you don't want to see. Definitely thought he had the shot, but Switch was still alive, able to get that refrag, and that's the danger of those rotations. And now that's misinformation for Animal House. They're not aware that they're dealing with potentially 4. I mean, well, they are dealing with 4. They don't know how many they're dealing with because of that call. They assume 2 or 3 may be alive now.
And the defense was just a moment ago a bit spread. Now Lipinski's gone off the objective, and Steven trades out with Hailfire. Ember do grab that do-or-die lifeline, and they hold on. Well, for dear life.
Yeah, they are going now to their defensive round, and this is not the objective you want for your defensive round. This is...
Not with this team.
Yeah, this is historically a very capable objective, and one that really requires quite a bit of focus. It is the center Coyote objective here, right in the north side of that mini market. And if you're an Onward player, you know the difficulties with defending this. There are quite a few different cap locations. You know, you basically are on 360-degree defensive duties all the way until the final seconds of the round. There is no escape from the pressure here, and I have a feeling Animal House is going to bring it on this offensive push, because they want this round over. They want this game done. Ember has to hold on, though. We didn't even have enough time to go to the scoreboard, Sleepy. I mean, that's how quickly they decided to get into this round.
I know. I was just going to say, we're at war with the timer here right now because they are gearing to go. Animal House that confident, I think, in this next round that they are just like, we don't need any more time to plan. We're good to go. Let's roll.
West spawn.
The shot early. The callouts come in from the defense. Hailfire going to be under a lot of pressure. He has got a lot of work.
They saw him in the shot as well. He does find one, however, with Green Theft. There's Wicked Hex to see if he's available. He does get the trade, but he's...
Perfect. He's got the call out. That is exactly what Hailfire would have wanted in that situation. He trades out with one, gets the call outs in. Now, even if he's confirmed, he's done a 1-for-2 trade, and that's all that the defense can hope for. Steven looking for that confirm. Not gonna be able to find it. Switch though, looking for a potential revive, but he gets his head a little too far into that window, and Steven is not a sharpshooter you want to mess with at that distance.
No, not at all. And at that distance, he sure as heck can't miss. He finishes off Hailfire to make sure no more call-outs come in about where that Animal House team is coming from. They are down to 3, though. Probably not what they were anticipating when that timer started beeping. But 3 people against, well, 3. It looks like we maybe had a... No, wait.
No. That was correct. Yeah, and Hailfire and Switch both going out.
Yep. Sorry,
on
Sleepy bad at math right now.
Steven's shots, and now it is Ember's defense to lose here. Animal House trying to regroup. I heard the... I'm going to go rotate call out from Nolamite as he goes to find a new position. Looks like they are going to opt to rotate south and around, leaving just Steven here to approach on the objective side. Now, I think the question here is going to be, is he going to be in sync with where his team's pressure is going to come from? And if he's going to spot Quokka in that little spot back there. Looks like he's just tucked in enough. Steven checking the angles, not going to spot him out. Quokka rotating.
Milkman's getting ready to walk into it. Oh, and I was just getting ready to say I love this angle for that exact reason. It does give you access to some checkpoints for the defense.
Like he's in the
and he does grab that member of Ember. The member of Ember. I always love saying that. It's always fun to say. Anyways, Steven proving to be a sheer weapon on this round for Animal House as they hope to secure this undefeated victory in the series.
Yeah, 2 defenders left. Quokka rotating here. This is the smart call, right? When you're down to just a few members of the defense, you have to have good visual on that entire first floor of the Kaya. There are so many spots that Marsaw can tuck themselves into to cap that you've got to be moving around and getting eyes on as quickly as possible. Steven there with a little nade toss to check. Soju, meanwhile, cleaning the upstairs, making sure nobody's up there, but Pinsky and Nolamite getting into position, start putting pressure on the north, could be the thing that spells doom if Soju doesn't calm him down. I don't think he knows Quokka's got the front side of that objective covered.
So here's the other thing Ember need to hopefully remember is that giving away the 1 point to lose is going to be better for them than giving away the 2 points to allow Animal House to cap again, if it so happens. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but, you know, points separation and how many you give away and how many you gain on your opponent eventually comes into play if there are tiebreakers. Say if Animal House, you know, later loses as well, you know, that would come into play later. So they would want to keep the scoreline, just like in regular season. You want to keep that scoreline as close as possible if you're losing, and if you're winning, you want to make sure it's spread as far as possible. So Animal House probably, again, looking to cap to spread that out and get that 5 points. But it is going to be tough because so far, Ember have a pretty good lockdown on the objective. Lipinski is prodding in, though, and he's being quite sneaky. He might see Quokka in just a moment.
Yeah, Quokka is not going to be prepared for this right side peek. Soju with the comms coming in. Lipinski should be spotting Quokka any second, but he doesn't see him through the boxes there. Lipinski checking the upstairs. Soju dropping down off the back. Oh my god, this is just so much tension. Steven looking for
the cap. He's upstairs. He's got pad out. He's going for the cap. Soju's on the other side of the wall. He cannot see it. And there it is. Animal House get the cap, a 5-2 win for Animal House. And they just weren't paying quite enough attention. Lipinski, the sneaky ninja of Animal House, has been rocking it so far. Every map we've tuned into, Lipinski has been playmaking. So kudos to him and to Nolamite. 2 caps on the map. But well played by Ember. They really had some great rounds in there. We saw some excellent Onward play in that map. Some great Bazaar play, too, if we compare it to some of the regular season stuff we casted. So, I mean, what else to say? Noman, your thoughts on that round?
No, that was fantastic. That was exactly the kind of series I was thinking we were going to see. You know, again, Animal House is Ember's kryptonite. And Ember played a good round, but it's those little things, and Animal House will capitalize on mistakes. That is one of their biggest their biggest boons, I guess you could say, that they are very good at putting the pressure in the right places, understanding the map really well, and capitalizing on that damage. A great game, and one of the few, I think there's a good bit that have already finished in round 3. But we are going to go take our brief intermission while we figure out what games are next, and we'll either be back with a round 3 in progress or the round 4 matchups in just a little bit. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be back in just a few